Hey, so I want to talk really quick about hyaluronic acid. A lot of clients ask me about it, and I recently purchased one that I found on YouTube that a lot of YouTubers were talking about. So hyaluronic acid isn't actually an acid, it's a water binding molecule that is meant to hydrate the skin. It works with water, so it binds to water and it plumps the skin. Okay, so this one from the Revolution is 2% hyaluronic acid, which I think the L'Oreal one is like 1.5. It's $10, so it's super inexpensive, but I just want to show you. So I'm going to compare it to a couple that I sell that are definitely higher end. So I have a power infused hyaluronic serum that can be a standalone, but I actually use this in my custom serum. So I combine it with other serums for my clients. So we'll look at it with this. This has a lot of clinical data on it, on the hydration levels and how much it plumps the skin. This one I really couldn't find a lot, but it has a ton of positive reviews because it's 10 bucks. The other one that I use that I sell a lot is from Hale Cosmetics, and I think you'll buy this online. I'll link it down below. So this is the Dermist M3HA. So this one is expensive. So this is the larger size. I want to keep it upside down because it's almost out and I want to show it to you. But I think it retails for like $70 this size. And then they have a smaller size that maybe retails for around $40. And this other one that I sell also retails for around $70. But I want to put them on my hand and then just show you, because this one is so watery. I just want to see if I can show you in a visual. All right, so I'm actually going to do it while I'm filming. So this is the one I got, the Revolution. So it's pretty watery, and then we're gonna just compare it to my custom one. Okay, so you can just see, and I don't know if you can see, so this one from the Revolution, it's so watery, it's just leaking down my hand. And this one, it's leaking a little bit, but not, to the extent that this one is. So this one from mine, and it's so hard to see, it kind of stays in place, right? So, I mean, it dripped a little because it is a serum, but it's like a thicker consistency. It's really nice. This one is like pure water, and it has a little bit of, slip to it, but it's like literally pure water in it. So I don't know if you can see. So this one is the $10 one, and then this one is mine, that's like $70. So now I want to get the one. So these both contain water in the ingredient list. I mean, it's way thicker and it feels nicer on the skin than this waterier one. Okay, so now the Hale one, and most hyaluronic serums contain water within them. This Hale one also has copper peptides, so I like this one after like microneedling. The copper is good for healing, but copper can cancel out vitamin C. So you want to be careful if you're using a hyaluronic with copper, anything with copper, and you're using ascorbic acid. Some of the newer studies will say that you can use a lower form of vitamin C, just not ascorbic acid, because apparently the acid and the copper cancel each other out. So this formula contains no water at all, and I'm like really low on it. But see, it really doesn't drip. It just kind of stays in place. So this is like definitely a thicker, it's a more healing type of hyaluronic, and you need a lot less. So for mine and for this one, you need like a quarter of the amount of what you're going to need from the ordinary. So you're going to go through the ordinary one a lot faster. I think if you're older and you want more plumping, right? Or you need something with the copper in it for healing. So after microneedling or after peels, more aggressive treatments that you get as you get older, or even if you're younger and you have acne and you're getting microneedling, hyaluronic is great. It won't make you break out, and the copper is amazing for speeding wound healing. So it's really up in the air if you want to spend $10, I get it, or if you want a higher end product that's going to be more anti-aging and you're going to use a lot less of these products because it's thicker consistency. I'm going to stick with my products versus switching over to the $10 serum because I just think I would go through this so quickly. It's so watery, and I like the consistency of the thicker serum. So just my thoughts, but for 10 bucks and you want to try hyaluronic, try it. But just know that this is like really watery. I've never seen a hyaluronic that I've tried in my professional brand. So like Image Skincare has one that I've used over the years, a lot of the companies, and none of them are this liquidy. So you're definitely going to use a lot more of this and go through it faster. Just so you know what to expect from hyaluronic. I finally got my hyaluronic serum from The Ordinary, which is super inexpensive. I think it's like $7. And I'm going to compare it to the Revolution one, which is like a dupe. And then I'm going to compare that to all of these, my Oxynergy Paris one that I sell in my spa, and the Hale Cosmetics one that I also sell in my spa. So we're going to see how watery they are, and what my thoughts are on if you need to get an expensive hyaluronic or not. So let me put these on my hand, and then I'm going to come back. Okay, so I'm testing out these 4 hyaluronics, and I couldn't put them on my hand because they're so watery that they just, kept running into each other, and I wanted to let you see. So the Revolution, Ordinary, Oxynergy, and the Hale. So it's interesting that this Ordinary one is starting to leak already, but actually I do find it thicker than the Revolution, but I want to tilt them down and just show you. You can tell that the more inexpensive ones are waterier formula. This Hale one is really thick, but the Hale one I'll talk to you about in a second. So I just wanted to show you. So I definitely think there's a difference. So this one again is like $10, $7, and this is like 60 or 70, and this one, this particular size, it comes in a smaller one, is like 70 or 80. So my final thoughts on if you need to spend money on an expensive hyaluronic, and it really depends on what you're looking for and your age point too, right? So as you get older, your skin gets drier, and you might need a thicker hyaluronic. So I tend to sell hyaluronics as like boosters in my spa, so when people are feeling a little bit dry and they don't want to like layer on a bunch of creams, then they can use the hyaluronic and then layer on their cream. So is it worth the money? It's, I guess totally up to you. So the one I totally would not even get is this Revolution. It's so watery. I don't see the point in it. So I wouldn't, even though it's like 10 bucks, I wouldn't even waste your money on that. It's like total water. I do think that this Ordinary one is really good. And it has the extra B5 vitamin in it. And for $7, I mean, you can't go wrong. So the Oxynergy one is good if you're drier and you want like a little bit more plumping and hydration, because it is, a thicker consistency. But is it worth, to you spending the extra $50? It might not be. But there is a lot of clinical data on this particular product. So I can link some of that information below. So I like products that have that clinical background, but clinical information, but it's totally subjective. So the Hale one, okay, so this comes in a smaller size. This larger size is like $70 or $80. But with this one, it has no water in the formula at all. So you can see it didn't slide down the cardboard at all. It just stayed in place. So this is a super healing. So I will sell this after my more aggressive like microneedling treatments, because it has the addition of the copper peptides, which is proven to like really stimulate wound healing, plus hyaluronic is hydrating. So this has its place, right? So if you're getting aggressive treatments and you want something to stimulate like wound healing and be hydrating and not clog your pores, like 100%, this is amazing. And I would spend the money on this if that was, the circumstance that you're dealing with. For just an everyday hyaluronic, to spend the money, if you want the addition of the copper peptides, if you tend to do, more aggressive treatments, or you're using retinol or Retin-A a lot and it's drying you out, you might want a thicker formula like this with the copper peptides. So again, I just wanted to show you options. For me, I think if you're older and you're drier, it is worth spending the extra money. Also, it's dependent, I guess, on which moisturizer you're using over it. I don't use a moisturizer. I only use serums because I tend to be normal to like combination but more oily. So I don't really use a moisturizer unless I'm like feeling really dry from using some retinol products. So I tend to use I would use this one. I've been testing out the Ordinary one, but I've been using some retinol products, so I like this one. But anyway, the Ordinary one is totally fine. I think it's great if you're younger and you aren't super dry, or you're a combination and you don't want, you don't need that more plumping in the fine lines, and get the Ordinary one. It's really good. So I hope this helps give you some information about hyaluronics.